y'all know, and this is no secret. Y'all know I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think anybody in this room is the biggest fan of Terrence Malick. If you don't know Terrence Malick is a genius director, a legend of Hollywood and cinema.
Lives in Austin.
Lives in Austin.
Yeah.
So he might walk this door and beat our ass any moment.
How simple life was then.
You like double toasted? You know what? Maybe we could hire. We could pay her in shirts from dtmerch.com.
At least you be getting something.
It gets to be getting something. Here's your classic black tooth white logo. Oh, we got, look at this. Speaking of women, we have our Heather line right here. And we also have the slides that are up in here along with the many other things that we have in DT Merch. And I just saw this movie, and it's called The Hidden Life. And
is it a sequel to the Tree of Life?
Right? I was going to say, I was just about to ask that.
A lot of trees.
A lot of life.
Yeah, because it sucked mine out just about. This shit. Now, I knew it had all the Terrence Malickisms in there. It had all the kind of same camera work that he does. Played, you can even go by the trailer and just tell how slow this shit is. And you ain't getting out of a Terrence Malick movie without investing at least 3 hours. He don't work for anything less.
I didn't know it was a period piece.
And it's a period piece.
Oh, dear God. Brother, I'm so sorry.
And I knew all this going in. I knew all these things going in, read about it, read reviews, looked at the running time, even read the bad reviews where people would say, "F this." And I still, like a battered wife or husband, like an abused animal, just said, you know what? He'll be different this time.
Well, I've heard that unlike his last 5 or 6 movies, that this one had a plot.
This one actually has a plot. I said, that will be the thing that is different. Mm-hmm. Maybe now we can actually make something worthwhile out of these 3 hours instead of just seeing people just walking around doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So
I was like, hey, you know something? If nothing else, it'll look beautiful. I mean, I don't know if I want to stare at a picture for 3 hours, but wow, this looks nice. How long I got to hold this shit? I'll tell you more about it after we come back from the trailer. This is the latest opus and period piece from Terrence Malick, The Hidden Life. Even the intro was slow.
Honestly, reading that description right there,
I was like, really?
Yeah, Owen Gleiberman. That's I was like, I read that. That says nothing.
Yeah.
If anytime
like
somebody, that's some shit you make up when you trying to find something nice to say.
Right. When your editor has said, we got an interview with this guy and this issue, so write something positive.
Yeah, when you have to find a nice way to say slow as boring as hell, you got to say things like, this is a cathedral of the senses.
Yeah, is there a funeral going on in the cathedral?
There's so many great movies on my shelf, and this can sit up there next to them.
Yes. When you enter the movie, you realize that it is a movie.
Yeah. I dare you to go to any of, go to Europe somewhere and be a tourist and go into a cathedral. I tell you, in 30 minutes, you're going to want to leave that mother. You ain't going to want to be in there for 3 hours.
I can't do.
You ain't getting tired of watching a movie. Here it is. Shit over there. Shit, all right.
Whatever you do, I'm with you. Always.
There is a story there. Yes, we have established that. And you know what? And the story actually did draw me in. Once I would say this. The good thing about Terrence Malick being slow is that he won't lay everything out there right off the bat. He will actually take his time and when he bothers to have a story, he will let things just kind of fall into place on their own. Let you figure out what's happening. you know, because everything moves so gradually. And once I started picking up on what was happening, I started thinking, this is a very interesting premise right here. This is actually based on a true story, as it said in the trailer. It's about a guy named Franz Jägerstätter, played by August Dill in the movie. There's Franz right there. And Franz is cool, man. Don't let that scary ass Nazi name fool you. You know, he's what Franz actually is. Franz is a Catholic Austrian farmer, man. Lives in a village somewhere. All he wants to do is spend all his time with his lovely, beloved wife. He just wants to spend time with his kids. He wants to sit around and slice grass all day, you know, and do what people up in the hills do, you know, until World War II hits. And he's called to do basic training, which is fine because, you know, while he's in basic training, France surrenders. The Nazis are like, well, shit, we got this.
Yeah.
You know, so when France surrenders, they send all the soldiers back for some who need to, like, go home and farm and be with their wives and whatnot. And everybody don't need to be out here fighting. So they send Franz home until the Nazis start getting their ass whooped. And then they start going back to these villages and getting all these able-bodied men to. So
it's like being in the reserve.
Yeah. They start getting all these able-bodied men to come in and fight. And they like, Franz, that means your ass too. Put that shit down. Let's go. Franz just, you know, Franz don't want to do nothing but frolic all around and shit. And Franz says, look, this, he's been mouthing off. And I'm all with Franz's beliefs. Franz got the right idea. Franz was ahead of his time. He knew what was going on, but you know, people who are usually ahead of their time probably should shut the up. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Usually end up getting hurt or killed.
Yeah. So Franz has just been going around the village, just running his mouth.
Man, these Nazis ain't shit.
Man, no, he's been going around.
You'll see.
Yeah, he's been been just running his jibs all around the village. Man, this mother Adolf Hitler is crazy. Am I right? And people like, hey man, we cool. we good with him.
Who's with me?
Yeah, they like it. Yeah, he look, man, he's talking some real shit. You know. Yeah. And Franz don't catch the hint.
Franz, we missed you at the book burn last night.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I was doing some shit. And,
yeah. Franz don't know when to shut the fuck up. Even when people say, look, man, I wouldn't be saying all that. You know, you got your opinion, I got mine, but shut the fuck up. I mean, Franz he's still just running his mouth. No, this is not right. This is not good. And people start fucking with his family. He doesn't care. They start messing with kids, start bullying his kids. He doesn't care. So when he finally gets called back up to go back into the army, to go back there and this time fight. And the thing is, when you're being called back to be a soldier, the first thing they say is get in line and swear an oath to Hitler. They go down the line and everybody like, how Hitler? And then they get to Franz and we're like, shit, here we go. It's the Franz, you know. And it just, I mean, you don't want to root for the Nazis or anything, but you know, you kind of want Franz to just be like, hey man, just go with the program. You know,
Jesus Christ. Just say what you got to say.
Just say what you got to say,
right.
Man. You know, just do what you got to do. And of course, Franz is.
Go along and get
he refuses, you know, he stays true to his convictions. He refuses to give allegiance to Hitler and tells them, when they get up to him and they say, pledge your allegiance to Hitler, man, Hitler. Hitler ain't shit. All right, get your ass. And they put him in jail, and even with all of the abuse that he suffers, even with being away from his family, even knowing that, you know, there's a chance, I'm not saying this happens or not, there's a chance that he could be killed, he still just says, no, this isn't right, and God wants me to not do this, and so I'm not going to do it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Except, and I hate to say this is probably this is going to get me in trouble, but I don't give a f. This is probably the first movie where I rooted for the Nazis.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm sorry, because this movie is an unnecessary 3 hours. And these Nazis in this movie are patient as man, you know, we used to see in movies where you talk shit to a Nazi, they just shoot your ass in the head right then and there.
Yeah, and walk on.
And walk on.
Tell somebody else to clean it up.
Yeah, and that's why I say this is fascinating, because these Nazis, they giving him every chance. They giving him every chance to just do what they want him to do. I mean, to the point where They give him lawyers. they come in and give him counselors and people even saying they're pleading with him. They're like, man, just say this shit. Just
hold your hand up.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it.
They were like, look, man, you ain't even gotta believe it. We tired of you, man. We don't even care if you believe it or not. These motherfuckers just want to hear it.
Yeah, just goose up a couple times.
Yeah. And you know what? And I hate to say it, but it's like, I'm not saying what happens at the end, but I'm sorry, I'm wrong for this, but I found myself saying, you know what? Just kill this motherfucker, man, and let us go home. It's an hour and a half in here, and we know he ain't gonna change his mind. Fucking pop him and let me go. I want to go. I'm tired of this. And yes, I will complain about the time and the length of this a lot. Because I know, because people are going to look at me and they're going to see all the glowing reviews for this movie, and they're going to think like, well, this dumb nigga right here, he's just, go watch The Avengers again, because obviously you don't have patience and you don't have the maturity to watch something like this.
Hey, The Avengers was 3 hours.
Yeah, and they did something. God damn it. They got shit done.
I know. They saved the world.
There was always something going on.
They went back and forth in time and everything.
Right.
Look, Terrence Malick, respect to him. He's a smart man. And there is talent in this. It's just that nobody needs to go and do something that doesn't require all this time to tell it, and if only for the reason that because it's somebody is too scared to say that something is ponderous and something is boring, and so they find ways to come in and describe genius.
Yeah.
And because that's what this is, man. And let me tell you why. Just not because I'm not, me, I'm not stupid. I'm not just gonna sit up here and be like, man, this was boring. No, let me tell you exactly why I think that this is terrible storytelling. For one, like I said, it's self-indulgent. But the reason why this story plods like it does is because it's just a repetitive pattern of filmmaking that takes up time. There's very little dialogue in the form of a conversation.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers in here, they don't have conversation. They don't have dialogue. They narrate in monologue.
Yes. It only works if you say, well, all these characters are psychic. And that's how
they communicate. You're right.
Yeah, these scenes are filled with lots of people narrating that what they want to say to somebody. If it ain't that, then it's just jump cuts. It's just jump cuts of reactions of people. Are people just gesturing? While, by the way, and gesturing over dramatically, or pondering, even standing still over dramatically, while over dramatic music plays. Like they do in art films that we make fun of, like that are parodies. I'll even do I'll do some of it for you. Like they'll come in with that music, and with this, when that music plays, they'll just be there are so many scenes where you could have been showing a story or having dialogue. This is one of the few times I'll say tell, don't show. Just do something.
Here's the thing about what you're saying with that, because I agree with you, but I think about his last two movies. I saw Night of Cups and Song to Song.
Yeah.
And which was a lot of what we're saying with the narration over people frolicking or doing other things.
Yes.
But the scenes that did have dialogue, you could tell that he just had set the scene up and let the actors improv, and it was terrible. It's
better here because the actors in Song to Song, we mentioned this. The actors in that movie, Song for Song, you had great actors in there. Ryan Gosling and
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender, and who else was there? Who was that?
Rudy Mara,
yeah.
And
Val Kilmer was in it.
Oh, was he?
That's right.
Yeah, Val Kilmer was only in it to just be on stage drunk.
Oh, okay. Natalie Portman was the other.
Natalie Portman, and in that movie, it's you know what? As much as people say Terrence Malick is a genius, Terrence Malick brings out the worst in motherfuckers out there. Terrence Malick leaves actors to show their worst. Terrence Malick leaves them to actually go in and improvise and ad-lib with no direction. And you see that some of these
no
people,
cutting it down.
no cut, yeah, and they can't do it. As much as these actors are great, they can't do it.
We thought we could just roll and tumble, live from
They
song.
ain't talking about shit.
They aren't.
These are actors that said. Terrence Malick just said, I'm gonna be eating a sandwich. Do some deep shit. You're an actor.
Say something deep.
Yeah.
Do something deep.
Yeah, you're an actor. What I gotta do? What I got directed for?
There's no script. Script. You're good at this. Go.
Yeah, exactly. Now, in this is why I wish that there were certain techniques that weren't happening, because I do think that this is a fascinating story, because we don't see these stories about the innocent Germans.
Right.
The Germans that didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
Though we always hear about the Nazis, and we always still kind of put propaganda, a propagandic twist to World War II with the Nazis. As much as we might not want to admit it because we want to be angry and want to have a target to hate, not all Germans were doing that. And it's great to see that there was a German here that held to his convictions and hated the shit out of Hitler. He's actually like, this is wrong, man. What are you people talking about? And there are moments where even the scenes without dialogue, you can see it working. You can see some really great moments of acting. You can see some tender moments between characters with no dialogue. His wife in the movie, let me see what her name is. She's Valerie Packner, man. She in the film, they love and care for each other so much, and they're so decent that you really do root for them, especially when they get these scenes where you see how much they love each other. And that's one thing where you don't need dialogue. When you're showing deep emotions like that, you don't always need dialogue for that. And they don't do it too much with them in those scenes, and those scenes kind of work.
Where are the kids?
Inside.
She's like, come on, tell him about this dude that's in the house right now. Shit.
His eyes all darting around.
Where the kids?
Where the kids?
They can't see us, right?
I tell you, let's eat outside right now.
Loves to do those cuts like that.
Yeah,
It
that
does.
was so odd.
And that's one of the scenes where it kind of worked, because, like I said, I love when we talked about that with The Mandalorian. I love scenes where they don't have to put dialogue in there and let the action speak for themselves, especially high emotional scenes like this. Now, I said almost. The reason why it doesn't, Terrence Malick got 2 camera shots. He's got 2, and he's got 1 lens apparently. he has a wide angle lens. I mean, he either does these wide shots where these people got that lean, or he's always, if you look, the camera's always up on people.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, I think that's the camera right there. It's I don't like his filming techniques. This is not me like coming in with a chip on my shoulder already wanting to hate Terrence
Malick all the
Malick.
time.
Yeah.
But I don't like his filmmaking technique, and I get it with this, but he does it all the time. But with this, he wants you to feel like you are actually living in, you're up close and personal and living in this period. This period of World War II, where the other thing that you don't see is that this is a small village, and it is curious. I say curious. It is a fascinating thing to see these people living in this type of village at the time. It's kind of it feels like it's only got it feels authentic only in the sense that we haven't seen something like this before, and it has just kind of at least for its time, has kind of one foot in its modern time. It's kind of cool to see where these people are still kind of living in
I see what you're saying.
a rural existence.
But for their time.
But for their time,
in the 30s or whatever.
Yeah, they're not truly fully modernized. And it's cool to see that, but the way he films it, you feel like you at Disney World or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that looking there. It looks like one of those places that would be there. You could eat outside.
Germantown.
Yeah. It's,
Right next door to Moose Burger.
Yeah. It's like it feels like it's goddamn.
It's in the Epcot Center.
Yeah.
The water could come from Splash Mountain.
Yeah, this feels like Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about this is jarring or not that good to tell a story. Quick cuts that undermine emotional scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Undermine
it's
is
almost
what
like
I'm
that YouTube editing that I can't stand.
Yeah, this is the kind of editing when like you have when you have those young YouTubers. Hey, this is Josh. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to tell you today about this new boxing I have. Hey, I want to open up this new console. What do you think? This new what? You mom, get in my room. Hey, everybody.
It's like the Holocaust by Tim and Eric.
I don't think that any of this is good filmmaking or storytelling. The thing that is good about it is the camera work, the cinematography. Cinematography is beautiful. If you go to a beautiful location,
yeah, it's doing most of the work.
It's already doing most of the work.
Because that scene with them reuniting on the hill, I was like, man, that's some beautiful countryside. Now I would hate to trip over there because it's like you just rolled down the hill the rest of your life.
She went running over to him. I said, "We're going on a trip."
But that's gorgeous. Like if you can't get good shots out there, you need to throw your camera down the hill.
Right.
Yeah, if you get a half decent cameraman or cinematographer, then you're gonna get some good shots. And I'm gonna even tell you this much: whenever there's a new camera that comes out, like a new DSLR or a new full frame camera, I'm talking technical shit, but y'all know what I'm saying. When there's a new camera that comes out, that's not even as expensive as your full-fledged movie cameras out there. First thing these people do, they go to some exotic location and film shit just to show how good the camera works.
Yeah, they hop into the helicopter.
Yeah, and it looks, it looks like this. And the reason why they do that is because the scenery is doing a lot of the work for them.
Yeah.
So they can show you how great the camera works. And they're like, nah, that tree did the work.
Right.
And
Yeah,
waterfall.
I would've
That mountain been there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but
It's beautiful, but
Yeah.
so are the pictures in National Geographic.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean,
And that's another thing. It's like, yeah, it's beautiful, but he loves cutting these mountains, man. These mountains take up half the fucking time. I'm not even trying to sit up here and I'm
yes, you are.
yeah,
It's not fresh to you anymore. We should have caught you when you just got out.
Shit, that motherfucker. I would have been like, Unstein, Gillenstein, Terrence Malick, Stein.
What had a swastika running his arm?
But at least
They were reasonable Nazis.
like we said, at least like we said, there is a story here, unlike a lot of the things that he's done.
I'm sorry.
And a lot of the stuff that they showed here it was a story, and I was fascinated by the story. And when it does actually tell its story, I'm like, man, I wish you would just get to this and just stick with it instead of being. He's distracted when he's filming this. There's a story that can be told, and if it was edited tighter, it would be and I could even probably look past the camera work. Not much, but I could probably look past that if he had just stuck to telling the story and quit being so self-indulgent where he just has to like be an artist too. Just because you take up time doesn't mean you're an artist. Just because you fill in time to expand things with dramatic music and all these shots showing these people overacting with their dramatic gesturing, that does not make you a genius. Geniuses in their art change things. This ain't gonna change a goddamn thing, and it ain't changed. I still went to see this movie. It was still 3 hours long. It was still some bullshit through half of it. When the movie was done, if they had rewound it and told me I had to stay there and watch it again, I would have bitten to my tongue and bled out. I would not stay and watch this again. I'm sorry.
If they showed it on a plane, he'd have thrown a parachute.
Oh, we didn't realize we didn't show you the English version. So we can start over in this way.
No, there is a captivating story there in
Sounds
Vince.
like it, with the way you describe it.
Yeah, and there is some moments of great acting when the actors are actually showing, they feel like they really are in love or they really are going through a lot of pain. Those moments just don't get a chance to really shine. Which is why, as much as I'm complaining, look, you cannot pay me to sit down and watch this shit again. I will not do it. But I mean, I'm going to be fair. This is the lowest of rentals that I can give. There is something there. There is some craftsmanship there. It's not like movies where it's complete bullshit where they just go in and they're doing it for a buck or, it's people who are being funny when they aren't. He's being true to his vision, and that works for some people.
He just needs glasses.
Not this. I like that pun.
That one's okay.
Yes.
That wasn't exactly a pun.
This is some bullshit for me. But to be fair, it's the lowest of rentals that I can give until I see the next Terrence Malick movie.
I love how he's the main guy. Is the one that was in Inglourious Bastards putting the card on his head before he shoot everybody?
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, isn't that him? Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
The one that comes in and knows they're all full of shit when they're playing the game with the cards in their heads.
You know, this would work.
That's
good
him.
This would work good as a sequel to Inglourious
Yeah,
Basterds.
that's what I'm saying. That's why he's like that. He's like, oh, man, I really was an asshole back at that bar.
the little Nazi that would. Yeah, they can write. Yeah, this would be the sequel. The little Nazi that won't. You know?